This year, I'm creating a Bujo that supports my mental health. And for February, I'm learning to say no and reinventing the gratitude tracker. Hey friends, my name is Shayda Campbell. Come in, sit down, stay cozy, grab a cup of tea, light a candle, and let's do some mental health bullet journaling. So in years prior, my Bujo was all about like, stay organized, stay inspired, be productive, super productive, make something pretty while you're at it. This year, I want to slow it down and focus on my mental health, and I'm going to use my journal to help me do that. I still like doing the artistic aspect because art for me is a very meditative thing that helps calm my mind. So I'm doing some cover pages, a little bit folky, a little bit pattern play. Theme is black and white. And then for January, we really focused on reframing productivity and how I feel about productivity, because after the holidays, it's always hard to come back and I'm doing all this negative self-talk. You didn't get enough done. Anyway, that's last month's video. Go check it out. This month for February, I thought it would be fun to kind of focus on some self-care. All mental health is self-care. We'll get into that in a minute, but I have some mental health spreads that I'm really excited about. But I do want to start with a simple cover page. Again, theme this year is black and white, and I'm pulling from themes of years past, like pattern play and folk art. And I want to start this one with a cute little teapot right in the center, sort of lower center of the page. And the thing here is just when you sketch this cute little teapot, make sure you make it smaller than you think. Mine just kept getting so large when I did the initial sketches. You want lots of room around it for a border. And then we're going to grab a black brush pen and we are going to outline our little teapot, our little kettle. I guess it's a kettle. And the thing here is, you're just basically doing an oval with the lid and then the little arm, or what is that, the spout, and a handle. It doesn't have to be perfect and it doesn't have to look like mine. You want it to look very wonky and perfectly imperfect. That's what makes it charming. So sketch this cutesy doodle of the teapot, and I decided to make the handle just plain. I want this to be this very graphic thing right in the center of the page, because that's where the February title will sit. I wrote February in a very playful print, and then I'm going to carefully as I can use my black brush pen to outline the letters so that they stay white. Now you could do this with like a paint pen or something. Sometimes I just find that if you can leave the page showing through though, it looks a little bit cleaner. So I'm going to try my best, but if you mess it up, you could put a little piece of washi tape or ripped paper or go in there with a white gel pen or paint pen afterwards. And so there we go. That's our basic cover, like the February on the cute little teapot. Now we just get to have fun and relax with the rest of the process, which is to surround our sweet little kettle with lots and lots of flowers and leaves. And these are the types of things that we often, very often draw on this channel. So if you've been here for a minute, you have lots of flower sort of ideas and methods at your disposal. And if you haven't been here for a minute, well, what are you waiting for? Go watch some of the other videos. There's 700 or so, and they're all free, of course. And they're all here on Shayda Campbell YouTube, my channel. I just love drawing flowers and leaves. They're my go-to, and I find that they are really meditative and relaxing to draw, and that's why I am still doing the cover pages this year, even though I'm really turning this into a mental health journal, is because actually drawing and making art, being creative, that is part of my mental health, my self-care. I find there's something about having a paintbrush or pencil or pen in my hand. It just quiets my mind and I'm able to just focus on what I'm doing. And it's a really nice, peaceful feeling, even if I can just get 10 minutes here and there. And this cover page actually lends itself really well to you just doing it bit by bit. And if you're using the brush pen, now this is the Soft Brush SB from Faber Castell, and I just find it acts so much like a paintbrush. You can add pressure and create leaf shapes or, messy little scribbles and dots for the stamen at the center of the flower. And then you can relieve some of that pressure and use just the delicate fine point and do these really delicate, lovely little stems and branches. So you're going to use the brush tip to your advantage to do thin and thick lines, and that is what is really going to make this cover page sing. for journal pages like this, I typically will rely on like all of my old favorite floral illustrations, so I barely even have to think about it as I draw. Mind is very quiet now. And if you would like to have some old favorites in your repertoire, then check out my floral illustration e-course for beginners. It's on my website. I'm doing a little winter sale right now. Use the code on the screen to save 25%. I just love using winter as a time to dream and plan for the year ahead. Go slow, do some learning, and I want the same for you, my friend. So check that out. And there we have it. Our cover page for the month of February is done. I think I chose black and white as the theme this year because I wanted it to feel like very natural. As I focus on mental health, I want the illustrations to also be like really easy to dive into. So that's kind of the goal. And I had a lot of fun with that one. That one took me about half an hour for anyone that likes to know the times. And then we're going to flip over and get right into all the good stuff, the mental health, the self-care. And the first spread that I'm working on is a learning to say no spread. Yes. So setting boundaries in a way that feels healthy and doesn't induce tons of guilt. I know for me, that's super important. And so let me talk a little bit about the design first of all. This is going to be a 2-page spread, and I'm starting on the left. There will be quite a large open box because this page, which will be titled Learning to Say No, is actually where I'm going to put my scripts. Yeah, so I'm going to write a bunch of scripts, ways to politely but firmly say no. For me, writing things down really helps me internalize them and remember them. So actually writing out the scripts is so much more powerful than just reading them, say, on my phone or something like that. I'm using my favorite go-to leaf and berry design. Then I've got a sweet little bird, and he's sort of holding a flag in his beak, and the flag is my title area, which is, of course, learning to say no. We're going to have this large box on the right-hand side, and the box is bordered by this beautiful leaf and berry. So the leaf and berry, you just do lots of little leaves and keep on going with it. You know, you can add another leaf, you can add another stem, and you just go on and on, add a little berry cluster wherever you like. And it's a great way to fill in space. It can be as large or as small as you like. And again, it's something you can come back to whenever you have 5 minutes to sort of doodle. And if drawing a million leaves and berries is not your thing, can't think why, I have all of these pages available for you to download and print and use in your own journal. That's over on patreon.com/Shayda Campbell. Go check it out and pretty up your journal and support this channel as well. To draw the little bird, what you're going to do is start in pencil, do a little fish shape actually for the body and tail, and then just add the 2 wings on both sides. Mine are very perfectly imperfect. It's not very symmetrical, and it doesn't matter. That's the nice thing about pattern play and folk art. As I said, I'm pulling on themes from journals past, is that it can be a little messy. That's what adds the charm, the hand-drawn look. I sort of did a design on the bird, and then I didn't like it, so I just colored him in black, added a bit of shadow to the flag. I'm done with the leaf and berry design, and we are going to start by writing some scripts. First up, that sounds great, but I can't commit to it right now. Actually, one thing I should mention is you could categorize these like for work stuff, for friends, for social engagements, for I don't know what else, family stuff. I'm just going to write a plethora of ideas, and then I'm going to try to memorize them, internalize them is more what I mean. Secondly, I wish I could, but my schedule won't allow it. Firm, but gentle. Third, I need some downtime, so I'll have to pass. Prioritizing yourself hopefully would never put anybody off, and I know my friends would totally get that one. I'd love to help, but I have other commitments I have to focus on. It's like, yeah, I want to help you, but I'm helping someone else. Just kidding. I'm honored you asked, but I can't take this on. So different strokes for different folks here. Depending on the situation, you have a grab bag of gentle, firm, kind ways to say no. I don't have the bandwidth to take this on right now. That one I really like. I think especially with being a parent, it's just like I'm at max capacity at all times. And I'd love to help, but I need to prioritize blank at the moment. And that could be my health, my family, really anything. I have to prioritize my art right now. I promised myself I would do that in 2025. Depending who you're talking to, different responses may or may not be appropriate. But yeah, anyway, you get the idea. You could categorize it, as I said, go even longer, write more ideas. I grabbed another pen, finished up the border, and then wrote my scripts at the bottom there. So I really chose ones from a list that I found online that I felt like I could use and would be comfortable using. And I think that's the main thing. Did a little bit of white design on my little weird looking bird. And then we're going to come over here to the right-hand side and we are going to do a bit more of a tracker because saying no and having the script is so important. But I think also thinking about how we feel about saying no and also what it does to us when we say yes is probably for me even more important. And this part of the tracker is actually going to be titled, "What am I saying yes to that I don't really want to?" ? And then it'll have sort of two columns. And the second column will be titled, "How do I feel?" So what have I committed to or overcommitted to that I, didn't really want to? And now how is that affecting my mental health or even my physical health? And so that's kind of what we're going to track this month. In some ways, I wish that I said yes to too much. My problem is more saying no too often and saying no in a really unhealthy way, such as ignoring emails, never texting people back, saying yes, and then kind of like behaving badly. Those would be my MOs. And I'll give you an example. Like I would say yes to a business commitment and not even read the contract that thoroughly and then kind of be like, why do they want that? Why are they asking so much from me? I had an idea in my head of what I wanted to give them as far as this work relationship. And they obviously had a completely different idea. And now I'm mad about it. So those are what I struggle with. And I do think a tracker like this can help with all of that. Like I can put in this tracker, I said yes to this work commitment, didn't tell them my boundaries and what I needed ahead of time, didn't properly go into it with a good understanding of what we both wanted. So that's the first column. What did I say yes to? And then the second column, how do I feel? Well, I feel angry, mad. I feel annoyed and I'm acting kind of catty or I'm acting in a way that isn't as professional as I would hope to be. So that's kind of the idea for this tracker. I've made another big square here. And then as I said, it's just very simple, 2 columns. I'm getting rid of all my pencil, yada, yada, but I've used another little bird design. I've used the leaf and berry illustration that I go back to again and again. And I'm also repeating the flag shape. I've just made this one a little bit larger. And the title on this page will be Identifying Overcommitments. So that's the main title. And then what we're going to use to title the tracker is, as I said, what am I saying yes to? And then in brackets that I don't really want to or didn't really want to. And then how do I feel? So it's quite a simple tracker and you don't have to fill it out every day. It can be something that you do throughout the month, or you could probably do it if you wanted to in one sitting. Like there's probably 3 or 4 things that I have going on right now that I'm like, that was maybe a little much for me. And now, as I said, I'm being catty, I'm annoyed, I'm not acting in a professional manner. Or Sully is like asking me to build a tent. I don't like building tents because they always turn into these forts. The pillows don't stay up. He gets mad. I get mad. So I'm overcommitted on the tent fort front as well. So there's just some examples for you. Sorry, I feel like this is TMI about my business. But you get the idea. So let us move on. I think this one will be really helpful for me. It's okay to say no. I just need to do it in a healthy way. Anyways, next tracker, we're going to do another mental health tracker. And as I said, for February, I wanted to do like self-love, self-care for Valentine's Day. Be your own Valentine. And this tracker is a little more engaged as far as setup. You're going to create 4 rectangles, 2 on each page, and then divide those rectangles into lots and lots of rows and 3 columns. And this at its core is a gratitude tracker. I haven't even said that yet. We're doing a gratitude tracker. However, I've done gratitude pages in the past where it was like, just write down things that you're happy about or that bring you joy. And I never did it. And what I've done this month that I think will help me fill it out and actually use it and really internalize it, again, using that word, is that I've divided it. So I've got titles and subtitles for 4 sections here. The first one is little joys, small moments that brought me joy. The second is moments of peace, beauty that I noticed. Third, personal wins, something I'm proud of. And fourth, kindness received, who or what am I grateful for? And then as you can see, we also have a date, that's column 1. Then you've got kind of your subtitle and then why it matters. So I think that's going to be really important to write down. For example, let me give you some examples how I would use this. Moments of peace, which the subtitle is beauty I noticed. So say February 1st, Sully and I are out walking in the forest. That's something we often do after school. I just noticed the way the sun filtered through the trees and it was just gorgeous. And why it mattered, it brought me a little moment of calm. Or maybe personal wins, something I'm proud of. Maybe I'm proud that I'm going into business deals a little bit more assertive and expressing my boundaries ahead of time. And so I'm proud of that. Why does that matter? Because I'm growing as a business person, and that's something that's difficult for me because I still have trouble even thinking of myself as someone who runs their own business and is in business. Kindness received, what am I grateful for? Maybe I'm just grateful. I'm always grateful that Chris makes up the bed each night. That's something that he does while I do all my facial washes and whatnot. He gets the bed ready. And why does that matter? Because I notice it and I'm not taking him for granted. So those are some examples of how I'll be using this. And I do think the categorization is really going to help me to actually fill it out and not just have a gratitude page that's totally blank. I just did a little bit of pink highlighting there. Kept the decoration pretty simple on this one because the other one was so involved with all the little leaves and berries. Not hard to draw, it just takes a while. And that's my February, guys. So we have our teapot cover page. This one I love, learning to say no. For me, it's learning to say no in a more healthy way, not just ignoring and not texting back. Seriously though, if you leave me a voicemail, I never will hear it. I do not listen to voicemails, just putting that out in the universe. And then we have our gratitude tracker to record those moments that bring us joy and really notice them and think about what noticing them is actually doing for us. If you would like to download and print all of my spreads, cover page, the trackers, those are available on Patreon. You can sign up. It's only $3 a month or $33 for the entire year. Plus, get this, but also get all the old content. Or you can purchase them. I have a shop on Patreon. You don't want a subscription. I get that as well. Go buy them. Okay, friends, and that is it. That is it for February. I really am enjoying doing the mental health stuff with you. Thanks for all the sweet, kind comments last month. I so appreciate you. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.